chat with John Rogers, geologist from the University of Cape Town, now retired. Let's have a look at these rocks which are in his beautiful garden. Right, let's go.
Okay, so here you've got my oldest rocks, which are nearly as old as planet Earth, which is 4.5 billion years old. And these rocks are about just under 4,000 million, mainly from Malalan area. But the triangular one is actually from Zimbabwe ruins. It's a granite from Zimbabwe ruins. And beside it from Malalan is a banded iron formation from when the Earth's atmosphere had very much less oxygen. So you can't form it now. It's found all over the world. So places like the Northern Cape, we've got Sishen, we've got lots of this. It's a big source of iron for the world. Okay, these rocks now are the rocks from the Cape Town area. The bottom left there you can see writing on a rock. That's from Robben Island. It's it's a deep sea ocean sediment. You can look up in Google turbidite. And then later it was intruded by granite, like you can see at the top there. So the turbidite is about 560 million, granite's about 540 million. And where it's interacting, you can see here where it says migmatite, sea point contact. That's a world famous interaction between the intruding younger granite and the older siltstones, which are changed by heat to a metamorphic rock called hornfels. And the big rock you can see over here, it's got spots on it, so it's spots of a rock mineral called cordierite, and so that's just called a spotted hornfels. Sounds a bit like a bird. And then at Blouberg Strand, you've got actually some lava from when there were volcanoes here. So Cape Town, about 40 million years ago, was like the Andes, the coast of South America, with very violent volcanoes and very major earthquakes. And if you come along here, these rocks are only about 300 million years old, but younger. And they're from the Karoo supergroup instead of the older Cape supergroup. And this is from what is now the dry Karoo, but the area was either under a shallow sea or extensive swamps and floodplains. So when the world gets excited about climate change, geologists know that over time there have been huge changes, and so we say climate change is normal. At one stage, for example, Cape Town was over the South Pole, and then it moved off the South Pole. And it eventually, as a continent of Africa, bumped into Europe and made the Alps. India bumped into Asia and made the Himalayas. The South American plate collided with the Pacific plate and made the Andes, and the Rockies further north. So we're used to change. These darker rocks here are dolerites. They're either the older dolerite from when supercontinent Gondwana split apart about 180 million years ago, and the other ones are from Froggy Pond in the peninsula, for example, which when we broke away from South America 130 million years ago, which isn't very long ago for us, only about 12% of geological time. And these rocks here are very, very younger, this dark rock, and that's what we call a pebble phosphorite, with a fossil shark tooth in it, and there are millions of tons of phosphate on the continental shelf around South Africa.
Tooth? Where is the tooth?
My finger's pointing to the tooth.
Amazing.
And that's called a great white shark, the tooth which is extant, and sometimes you get big ones called megalodon or big tooth, and that's extinct. And by knowing the age ranges of those, you know that these are 5 million years old. And here are much younger rocks, less than 1 million years old. The ones with little holes in them are limestones. Actually, they're calcrete, which is built on a limestone, and they're drilled by pholads, little bivalves, which you can look up, PHOLAD. The darker ones on the left is another soil called, instead of calling it calcrete with lime in it, it's got a ferricrete with iron in it. And the parent material, here's a parent material of the limestone, where you've got the original Shelley limestone, which will have a calcrete on top of it. And here's some oysters. And in the macroline, if you get oysters in old beaches that are stranded above sea level now. You get diamonds in Namaqualand, Port Melbourne, places like that. And these rounded cobbles here are from the Oudtshoorn area, and they get knocked together and beautifully rounded. The little arc-shaped percussion marks, and it's from when it was a much more rainy time, many more floods, and that's the result. So in other words, every rock here has got a history, and the history is quite dramatic if you've got geological time to play with.
Oh, well, thanks very much, John. And John lives in Cape Town. Thank you.
Newlands.
Newlands in Cape Town. Thank you. Bye.